Hey, 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 guys, happy Friday, or as I like to say, happy Friday. Thank you so much for being on. I'm just watching all of you come into the room. It's so exciting to be together. I heard this said recently, and I love this. Optavia, like what we do is a transformation system that has a weight loss component. It's not a weight loss plan and that's it, period. It's a total transformation system. So we're not leaving you high and dry. We don't want you to treat this as a diet. We want you to take this from the fuelings, healthy goal weight, and beyond. And how do we live this out and walk this out for the rest of our life, right? And so with that being said, I would like to introduce my co-host today. I'll let her introduce herself. But Julie, will you come on and teach us about how to take this beyond the fuelings?
Hey everybody, I am so excited to be here today. Chantel at the very beginning was talking about last week people had snow and different situations. Today, we're having major storms come through the area, so our internet went out. Everybody's got struggles, right? But we stay on focus and we make it happen. So I'm so excited that I get to talk to you guys today about how do you eat healthy beyond fuelings? Like, have you even thought about that before? How do you eat healthy beyond fuelings? When I started the program, um, I lost 53 pounds in 5 months with the program. And when I started, I was like, I'm supposed to eat healthy beyond these fuelings. Like it was like a lifeline to me almost, And it was really hard for me to think about that at the beginning. But now that I've been along with my journey, I realize that the fuelings are a tool. It's a wonderful nutrient dense tool that you could go back and listen to Chantel and Cassandra talk about that a couple of weeks ago on Coffee with Clients. You can always hop on those recordings. They did a fantastic job talking about all those fuelings and how amazing they are. And those are a wonderful tool, but we get to actually eat beyond those and actually maintain our weight loss or go into that ultra health and level up continually. So I get to talk to you guys today about that. And so what that actually consists of is the training ground. So we have those five fuelings, but the training ground for this is our lean and green meal. And if you're just brand new and you're hearing this word lean and green meal, you're probably thinking, okay, something lean and then green vegetables. Well, it's actually beyond green vegetables. It's low carbohydrate, low glycemic vegetables. There's that low glycemic word again that you heard a lot on the previous Coffee with Clients. It's really key to your fat burn. But what we're talking about is lean proteins, green vegetables and salad, low carbohydrate vegetables, healthy fats. That's an interesting word. And healthy snacks and condiments. So with your lean protein, let's start with that part. The lean protein, when I first heard about that, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be stuck on white fish for the rest of my life. I can't eat anything else. But when we look at the habits of health and how it's broken down, there's that amazing chart that shows us all the different categories. They're the leanest, the lean, and the leaner. And those are all wonderful for fat burn and absolutely perfect for this program and for leveling up your health. And I love the chart because it shows you, so you can mentally start looking at it and say, oh, well, something that is like shrimp or whitefish is leaner than steak or salmon, which blew my mind because I was like, fish is fish, right? But salmon's actually a higher fat fish, but it has the great the healthy fats that we want in our diet. So that chart really shows you all those different varieties of different healthy proteins. And did you know that we actually even have meat alternatives or non-meat healthy proteins? Sometimes people, our clients, we don't like to always have meat and things like that, or our dietary restrictions don't have us eating different types of meat. There are non-meat options. There are low-fat dairies. There's egg whites. Have you ever tried the egg whites, guys? Put one in the chat if you've ever tried the egg whites on this program, because it is a huge plateful. So if you're looking for something to fill you up, try that one. But these healthy fat or these healthy lean proteins are packed with the proper amount of protein that our body needs. And the reason why this is important is because while we're burning fat, we're not losing muscle mass. And that is really key and really good with this program. So beyond those healthy proteins, then we look into the healthy fats. When I started program, Karen is my coach, Karen Schatzline, amazing, absolutely perfect coach. I love her to death. She told me I need to get in healthy fats. I did not listen to her. My mind said, I'm losing fat. I don't need to add in fats. Why? I'm just going to eliminate that. And I did not tell her. And a couple weeks later, after 2 weeks of not adding in my healthy fats, I had to call her. And I'm like, what's going on? Why isn't this working? Why am I having these issues? Her first question was, are you getting in your healthy fats? And I had to admit, I did not listen to her. So, as Sarah was talking about, submit to your coach, listen to your coach, reach out to your coach, absolutely do that. Your coach has your best in mind. They have been there, they have done that. They know all of the pitfalls, all the things that you can avoid the issues of. Reach out to your coach, definitely. But with these healthy fats, the reason why they're so important is because they give you an adequate amount of fat and it helps your body absorb fat soluble vitamins, vitamin A, D, E, and K, and it contributes to overall health and gallbladder health. And the fats will help you lose weight by giving you a sense of fullness and adding in texture and things into your meal. So don't skip the healthy fats. And the book talks about the proper amounts that you need for those proteins. So on your chart that you have in your guide, you have the leanest, the leaner, and the lean. The top two categories, you add in healthy fats. The top category, you add in 2. The middle category, you add in 1. Always reach out to your coach if you have questions on that, because sometimes, especially when you're getting started, that can be a little tricky. So reach out to your coach about that. But the amazing thing is they're simple to get in. It can be something as simple as cooking your lean and green in a little bit of oil. It can be simple, like having a couple of black olives with your meal, or 1.5 ounces of avocado, which is amazing. If you haven't tried fresh avocado, adding that with your meal, it's extra food, it fills you up, and it tastes delicious. So, healthy fats, don't skip them. Trust me. Then the next part is your green part of the lean and green, right? So, this is just low carbohydrate, low glycemic, there's that word again, vegetables, because we don't want to be spiking that insulin level and turning on all of that stuff that Cassandra was talking about 2 weeks ago. So if you didn't hear that part, you definitely need to go back and listen to that, because there was so much great information in there about the low glycemics, the index, the insulin, and why the body works the way it does, and why we need to fuel it the way that we are learning. Because remember, this is your training ground for moving on later on in life and for keeping the weight off long term. Because we don't do diets, right? Diets don't work. We've all tried them. Put a 2 in the chat if you've tried more than one diet in your life, right? Like I get many 2s, and they never worked. They never were sustainable. They were crash diets, like Keisha mentioned, of trying to find this or that to get the weight off, to run to the cruise, to fit into the swimsuit, the whole thing. And we don't do that. We are looking for long-term results that are sustainable. So go back and watch that information so that you understand what's going on with the food that you're putting into your body. But let's talk about the green part, the vegetables. So there is another amazing chart. I love how this program puts this into charts. I'm all about charts. It makes it so much easier for me to understand, to look at it, and to be able to evaluate things when I look at it at the grocery store, because that's the point. We're moving from just putting things in our mouth to making proper choices out in real life at the grocery store and bringing things into our home so that we know how to eat properly. So, um, what this program does with the vegetables is we get the proper amount of carbohydrates. This plan will create an effective physiological state of mind, dietary ketose, or what we like to call fat burn state. So, with the lower carb vegetables, we're getting into fat burn. Um, Follow that chart that is in your guide. If you don't have it, if you don't understand it, reach out to your coach. But it's another 3-part chart, just like the proteins. There is the low carbs, the moderate carbs, and the highest carbs. Don't let the high carbs freak you out because it is still within the parameters of this program. But again, it's that training ground. We're learning how to look at vegetables and the proteins to be able to evaluate when we're out at the store. Okay, this vegetable may be a little less carbohydrates than this vegetable. And what I love about the chart is it gives us a plan. It gives us a list of items to go to the grocery store and buy instead of just saying, well, I skipped the loaded baked potato. I must be doing good. That's a great choice to skip that loaded baked potato because it's not in line with our health goals. But if we know that maybe salad is better or asparagus or broccoli, what I learned a lot from this chart was that some of the vegetables I thought were supposed to be getting me to my goals weren't really getting me to my goals because they weren't in line with the parameters of what my body actually needed. So this chart is amazing. And it explains all the different vegetable types. And then, sorry, my notes are a little jumbled here today.
Okay. Hey, Julie, can I jump in right here real quick?
Yes, please.
So a couple of things I want to say is, first of all, as coaches, we're not perfect. We're still learning too. We are still clients. I want to say this. I was actually, when I introduced this, I said it was element 13. It's actually element 11, and I'll give you the wrong page. Let me tell you why. Full disclosure. I was helping a coach with a client transitioning, and we were on element 13 this morning. So there you go. As coaches, we still use our life book to help all of our clients. So if you are a client on here, like, you have this sneak peek now of what you should be doing, right? So we're on element 11. And then something I want to say about I do love this element. I read through it again yesterday and then again this morning, just so I could be prepared for you guys and with Julie. And I'm gonna say this, Julie: healthy fats, which are so important, which, by the way, we don't ever want to talk about, but sometimes we may have experienced some constipation. I will not make you put one in the chat if you have on the plan. But those healthy fats really can help with that. Also, drinking your water. And if you are having trouble with the unmentionables, check with your coach. We really can have some ways that we can help you with that. But your healthy fat is important. Also, in full disclaimer, as a coach of 5 years and a client of 5.5 years, I will tell you this. The healthy fat, sometimes we are not getting enough, but sometimes we're getting too much. I sent this to my coaching accountability partner this morning, this picture I'm going to show you. So as I'm in my life book, right, I'm going to see if I can send you this picture. I took a picture of the optional snacks, which is on page 225. And then I sent it to her, and this was circled. I don't know if you can see it. I circled the 10 almonds. You see that? And then I circled sparingly. Because, okay, now put a 1 in the chat if sometimes you go overboard on healthy things. I was laughing. That's how you know you have a problem, right? Like, when you're eating too much of the healthy stuff. I'm like, 10 almonds. Oh my gosh, I know I'm getting more than that, right? Maybe that's why the scale didn't move this week, right? So guys, we really do lay it out for you. And Julie's been showing us like all the charts, and your book lays it out for you. So sometimes those almonds have to go away. My friend Yolanda says we have to do a breakup with the almonds, right? Like, sometimes you may have to break up with the good healthy fat and find another healthy fat that maybe we are not so attached to, but it's good to get that. So Julie, sorry for interrupting you, but I just thought that was so funny when you got to that part. I'm like, yes, some of us are not getting the healthy fats, but some of us are getting way too much healthy fat, and we gotta rein it back in. So thank you, Julie, for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you so much. I love that. And actually, thank you for saying that we are on element 11 because I kind of panicked. And I was like, well, I prepared for element 11. I'm just going to go with it. And that's how we are around here, guys. We just go with what is there, and the elements, no matter which one it is, it's amazing information, and we all need to learn about them. So, but then Chantel was talking about those healthy fats and the healthy snacks. And that's the next part that I'm going to get to. So, the healthy snacks. Did you know that you can have a healthy snack if you absolutely need it sparingly? Karen, Karen always told me at the beginning, she goes, there is a part in your guide that says optional snacks, but if you can ignore that page, ignore that page. If you don't need it, don't go to it, because anything that we add into our mouth is something extra that our body has to process. But if you do need it and that you're at a moment where you're like panicking, or, Chantel was talking about earlier about talking clients off the wall. If you're in that moment, don't panic. This program is designed to help you, and your coach is there to help you. So if you have a moment like that, no, you can have a healthy snack, and that you can reach out to your coach, and that your coach does understand what you're feeling. So we have all been there. We've had those moments where we're like, okay, maybe we're in really high fat burn today and I might need a little extra, or I did extra work today. Maybe I need a little adjustment, which is amazing about this program because it's completely customizable. We can always adjust things. So reach out to your coach if you have any questions. I think I've said that 500 times today, but I'm going to say it again. Always reach out to your coach. Um, but those healthy snacks are things like she was talking about, those almonds, or uh, pickle spears, or sugar-free popsicles, and sugar-free jello. And I'm going to tell you this, do not underestimate the power of a sugar-free mint. When I started program, a sugar-free mint was like, Karen, that's not going to do anything for me. She's like, trust me, drink a bottle of water and have one sugar-free mint. And it was amazing how just that little bit helped me get to the next fueling, and then I felt great. And it's just about learning those little tips and tricks. I tell my clients all the time, don't underestimate the power of a sugar-free mint. It's not that much extra in your diet. It doesn't add any extra calories. And it's amazing how just that little bit of taste in your mouth triggers your brain to realize that you don't need anything. Because a lot of times it's just those addictions to those previous foods that we have been on, which was also talked about in previous elements. Go back and watch those as well. So basically, the whole point of your lean and green meal, which no matter which path you're on this program, right? Because we have more than just the 5-in-1. We have many different paths, and every single path you're going to learn about a lean and green meal, no matter which one you're on. So we talked about the lean proteins, the healthy fats and oils, the green vegetables and salads, and the healthy snacks and condiments. Now, with those condiments, that's another thing to be paying attention to with your lean and green meal. And that's one thing that a lot of times we don't um, focus enough on. And I think that that is one thing that slows our fat burn down a little bit. Just like Sarah had mentioned, she's going for that extra little push of that 7 pounds in the next month. And I know you're going to do it, Sarah. And her coach, that was what she told her to do, was to eliminate those condiments. If you're at a point like that and you're looking for a little bit more results, I always have 5 things that I troubleshoot with my clients. One of them is what we talked about today, this lean and green meal. Are you measuring it? Are you weighing it? What are your condiments? How many are you getting? Are you getting your healthy fats? And so if you're having any difficulties with that, reach out to your coach, because this meal, this lean and green meal, is one huge section of what your body needs for the day. So if you can imagine, I always tell my clients it's a big pot of nutrition that your body needs to get into proper fat burn. Part of that is divided up in those 5 fuelings that you need every day. And then the larger chunk is in that lean and green meal. And what's amazing is you get to be in control of that. What's also scary is you get to be in control of that. So make sure that you're in great communication with your coach. And if you are having any struggles here or there, they can tweak that with you. That's one of those things that we'll troubleshoot through. Um, but make sure that you're getting in, you're weighing depending upon which protein you're doing. It's a different measurement. Depending upon which vegetable you're getting, it could be a different measurement. Um, Majority of the time, it's 3 servings. Majority of the time, it'll be a half a serving per vegetable, or half a cup, I mean, per vegetable. But if it's a like salad or those smaller category on our chart, right, the one that we ignore, it could be a full cup per serving. So reach out to your coach and make sure that all of those things are in line, because those are the things that'll help your body get in fat burn and will make your results come more quickly. So Chantel, do you have anything else to add to that?
Yeah, so good. So a couple of things I wanted to say when we're talking about element 11, not 13, and the lean and green. Guys, when I started Plan, I had two teenage boys in high school, and they both played 3 sports. So they're big guys. And then my husband is an ex-college athlete, big guy. And I remember thinking, okay, I'm gonna have to cook for them and then cook lean and greens for me. And then what I realized was, no, they can eat healthy too, right? Like I was like, I'm not doing this. It's like I'm gonna eat. And what I found was they wanted to eat what I was eating anyway, right? I mean, anybody have kids who just want what you have anyway? So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just do my lean and green every day, staying with the chart, and then that's what I'm gonna serve them, right? And I mean, we're Cajun, so it's like it's take what Wayne said this at our thing that our conference we just had. He said this: take what you take, and or don't complain or something, right? Get what you get. So I'm like, so for my boys, I'm like, here's what we're making. Here's what I realized though, 5 years later, I was with my son yesterday, and who's in college and he plays college football. And we went to a restaurant and I ordered a grilled shrimp salad and he ordered healthy too. And I realized, again, I say this all the time, but we teach what we know, but we reproduce who we are. So if you're on here and you're like, I know I'm trying to do my lean and greens, but then I have to do something different for my family. Why? Why are you doing something different for your family? Right? Healthy is a blessing. And so I just wanted to throw that out there because I'm living proof that I thought that and I was wrong. And now all these years later, my oldest son, who's now married, was I called him last Sunday. We didn't go to church with him. We went to a different church. We usually go to church with him. And I called him just to check in because I hadn't talked to him. And he said, Mom, can I call you back? I'm right in the middle of meal prepping. And I'm like, what? He said, I'm meal prepping for the week. And I just love that because I didn't teach him to meal prep, but he watched us do that. And now as a married guy, that's what they're doing, right? We teach what we know to our families, but we reproduce who we are. So if you want your family to eventually be healthy, you just keep being healthy and not offer them a different solution. The lean and greens are very filling and they're very fun. The other thing I wanted to point out was on page 219, it talks about the seafood, right? Now, I'm from Louisiana, so we love seafood. So if you don't, I'm so sorry for you, but Dr. A, I love how he points this out. When you eat fish, you're choosing a great protein source and significantly reducing the risk of disease. Listen to this. Eating fish 1 to 3 times a week is an important habit of health. In fact, 1 serving of fish a week may reduce risk of fatal heart attacks by 40%. That's just 1 serving a week. It's a great source of protein. It can be cooked really good, grill it, broil it. It's so good for you. And so if you at all like fish or seafood, it's a great healthy source of protein. And so that was really easy to incorporate. And matter of fact, I have date night tonight with my husband in the restaurant we're going to. I love their grilled fish and it's what I'm going to have. And so excited about that. Healthy can taste good. So don't lie to yourself that it can't. And we get to choose to be healthy. And it's a gift. And then we're passing that on to our family. And then the other thing I wanted to say too, Julie, is that you talked about, or somebody maybe in the chat said something about journaling and send the journal to your coach, because we kept referring back to our coaches today, and how that will help you. In your Optavia guide that you all got with your first order, there was a journal in there. I would just be interested, put a 1 in the chat if you journaled that first week on Plan. I would just be interested. Okay, that's what I thought. Most of us journal and had a very successful week, I would guess, right? I still have my journal from September of 2017 of my first week on plan. And I still refer back to that, right? And I still love to see those results. Okay. But what happens is over time, we think we know it all and we stop journaling. And then we eat more than 10 almonds, right? Well, that's just me. And so we start modifying, right, Sarah? We start putting all the extra condiments in and the stuff in because, we just trying to whatever. So go back to journaling. That is so important. And honestly, for your coach to help you, the best way they can help you is to see a journal. So send that to your coach. It's an extra layer of accountability. It can help you. Thank you so much for teaching us, Julie. What a great element 11, not 13, that we got to discuss today. By the way, if you're in your life book, when it comes time for transition, that's where you want to be, and with your coach. Here's the challenge. Download that guide. It's a digital guide. Download it. Start journaling this week. We have 2 weeks till Easter. Send your coach your 2-week goal. Make a mini goal and give yourself a win. And guys, thank you so much, so much for being on with us today. We so enjoy this community time together. Until next Friday, guys, have a great week and be blessed.